Let's grab some of the information from our Wordpress API and just print them to our page. And if you go to, again, I'm just at the show here, and I just want to print out things specifically from, this is right now 4, but I'm just going to do this, and just so we can see this. So this is for each of my shows, and I just want to print out for each show the title here. And I'm just going to use the slug because that's easier for now, and I'll show you how to do the other things, well, title down here. But let's just grab the slug and print out Cosmos, a Space-Time Odyssey, or Kernel Schema, whatever it is, number 4, and so on and so on. Now, because we have more than one object inside our data object here, we need to do a for loop for this. So let's create our div block, and oops, not like this. Let's do this instead. And inside our div, we're going to do a v4. Oops, you can spell correctly here. And in this, we're going to put in our information. So the first one is going to be called VP item. So item, there we go. The singular version of items, because for each iteration, we just want to store it, that part of that object in this one, and whatever, you know what this is. We've done this before. So. And we're going to grab this information from VP items, so this one down here, where we stored all our data objects, and then we just quickly want to use the key and set this to index, right? So this is now ready. So now our for loop is ready. All the items, and for each iteration, print out this one here. Cool. So I'm just going to create a paragraph tags. I'm just going to create 2 because I need to use them. And the first one, I just want to create something called title. I'm just going to write title because so we know it works, right? And then I want to print out the VP item, not with an S, dot slug here, because that's what it is indicated here. That's the name of the key and the value that we want to grab, because I want the value here of the slug. Cool. Let's click refresh, and now you can see for each, or in my case, each of the custom post types with the title, it prints that one out. All right, that's awesome. Let's do a little bit more. Let's see what else we can grab from here. I want to grab the content here. So I wanted to print out Space-Time Odyssey with Neil Tyson deGrasse Tyson. So let's do this in our code. So I'm just going to create one called content here as well. Oops, I just created a paragraph tag for this and then I didn't use it. Great, content. And then I want to print out VP item again and then content, right? Let's see what this does. So if we refresh, you can see it prints out content correctly, but it prints out the entire object. As you can see here, there's actually another level to this. So content, and then it actually has rendered, and it also has protected. Protected means do you need to be logged in this case for WordPress. If it's set to true, then you need to have like punched in a username and then a password to actually see this. Protected false means whoever can see it as long as they're on the page. But we don't want that to show. We only want the part of this one. This is called rendered. So let's add that to this one as well from our code. So content, and then we want to grab the next part of this, and in objects instead of arrays we use dot for this. So I spelled it correctly, render it like so. And let's see what this does to our code. And now you can see it prints out this, but we also have HTML tags, and down here we actually have a little bit more for the apostrophes and whatever it is, but we can quickly change that. And if you search for VueJS HTML, you get actually sent to something called, well, I don't know what it's called, template syntax, that's the word. And if you just scroll down to raw HTML here, what we're doing is basically this. Right now we're just paragraphing and then printing out the raw code, right? And that means it prints out all the greater signs or whatever we're doing. But what we wanted to, instead of having this, which is basically what we're doing right now, we wanted to use the VHTML directive, so it prints out if you actually gave it styles and things like this. So let's try to do this instead. So we do this. I'm just going to copy this without the p tag here and change it up. So back to my code. I'm doing another paragraph tag here, paragraph tag, and inside this I'm just pasting in here with my span. And as you can see, instead of printing it out through an interpolation, which means it's going to print out the greater sign, whatever, we're just taking this and setting this to the directive, the v-html directive, and then pasting that one instead here and not using the interpolation tag. So let's see the difference between these two once we refresh our page again. So now you can see we have content here where it prints out the tags. So if you want to do this, for example, for code examples, but down here it just prints out the actual code. So as you can see down here, where there's a little bit more, and thou shall, blah blah blah, a lot of extra weird code. Now it actually prints out the apostrophes and the exclamation marks and everything we need for our code here. So that's the difference between those two things. And we of course want to use the last one because it's pretty, right? Cool, so delete the first one we did. So now we have this information here, and that's kind of the first part. We also, hope I did at least, if I just go to Gim here, we also set a featured image, and we're going to look into how we can actually start grabbing that one in the next couple of videos.